Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome around the globe to Kangen Water Radio, featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call, where we consider, clarify, and often correct the conventional wisdom around Kangen water technology, the different machines, the science behind water types, uses, and benefits, the testing process, the maintenance and cleaning of the machines, and much, much more. We also explore a plethora of other topics as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness, hydration, detoxification, and complete macro and micro nutrition. I'm family physician Dr. Lisa Battle Singletary, your trusted health navigator, and where needed, your virtual keto coach. And I'll be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, the Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire. And together, we bring you the best of both worlds. Wow, this is call number I'm reading my old script. 438. So we're headed to 450. I just can't believe how quickly these calls are racking up, and we almost have 60 calls on YouTube. So I'm just excited that we've been able to put so much content consistently into Kangen Water Nation, into the world. And I'm so happy that you are here today with us. We're talking about CBD today. And let me just click a button there. Okay. And particularly the difference between CBD oil and CBD tincture. Now, you might have heard those terms. And one of the things that I want to do is, I have to admit, I haven't paid as much attention to CBD as I could have. And I was really excited with some of the research that I found that's available for this call today. And I'm going to be sharing some of that deeper research with you, because CBD is amazing. And here's a word for you. It's got multifunctionality. And that is a key word these days, particularly when, let me see, was that spotlight on, particularly when we're going to be experiencing more and more supply chain issues. I did a call. Was it for this? Was it for this call? I'm getting my health calls mixed up now. Okay. But I did a call recently about being in a prepper state of mind, and some of the things that I'm doing, just, as far as like, I placed an order for some nutrition yesterday, and there were some things that I got two of instead of just one, which was my normal order, and things like that. Just building my little, because I have been on the wrong side of some back order issues, some delivery delay issues. We all have, I suppose. So, and I think there's more coming. So, one of the things that has driven my choice as I order my particular products is multifunctionality. So that means, if I can get a product that helps my joints, but it also helps the heart, and it also helps to, and I'm saying nourish and support. So not making medical claims. All right. This is a good time for the disclaimer. Right. We do not make medical or income claims on this call. We do not diagnose, treat, mitigate, cure, or prevent any individual diseases. What we do is we give the body what it needs. And the body, being the healing machine that it is, will do the healing that is designed to do. But if you don't give the body the building blocks that it needs, well, it's amazing, right? And it's going to keep going and robbing from Peter to pay Paul, and whatever metaphor you want to use. We're going to be alive, but are we going to thrive? So what we want to do is give the body what it needs to thrive. All right. So multifunctionality. You can't get more multifunctionality than some of the products that we've talked about. And I'm not talking about I'm not naming products. I'm just saying compounds that are in products, such as we talked about the products that come from the sea and the energy that's in seaweed, and products that are based on seaweed. And there are amazing studies associated with those products. Well, and you can't get much more multifunctionality than you can from CBD. So, but a lot of people, you see these things, but you don't know how to take them. You don't know what's the difference. What does it mean, oil versus tincture? And that's what we're talking about today. So in the future, I am going to maybe share with you some of the deep dive that I've been making into CBD. Buckle your seatbelts. It's amazing. But no, that's fasten your seatbelts, buckle up, right? So, but today I'm going to keep it real practical, because there are, I see more internet ads. I see more, I see CBD popping up in more and more places. And, some people dose it by amounts, milligrams, but what does it mean? Why does one bottle have 10 milligrams on the bottle, and one bottle, another bottle has 300 milligrams, another bottle has 1,000, another bottle 1,500? What does all that mean? So usually I give you the science before we do the practical thing, but we're going to keep it practical today. So I found a great article, and it's recent. It's from Healthline. Let me see if I can pull it up here. It was, I think, published in January, which I do like to keep the articles as recent as possible, because number one, we want new research, the current research, but number two, so much has changed in the last 18, 20 months. And that has changed a lot of things. It's changed the death rates. It's changed so much. So, so this was my search. My search was CBD tincture versus oil. And look, there are a lot of different articles. What's the difference? Why does it matter? What's the difference? How to choose, etc., from a lot of different sources. So the top choice, or the top article, was ding, 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 healthline.com. So that's where we're going to go today. We're going to check out that article and see what they can show us. This was January 29th of this year, 2021. CBD oil versus tincture. What's the difference? Here we go. So if you're researching CBD oil, cannabidiol oil, you're likely to stumble across some information about CBD tinctures too. And you wonder if they are the same. They're not. When the hemp/CBD industry began to ramp up in the late 2017, early 2018, Many businesses use the term interchangeably. A tincture became associated with the dropper bottle, the bottle with the dropper that the liquid came in. But you can get oils that way, you can get tinctures that way. Now, when they talk about these dates, 2017, 2018, let me tell you, I was on a plane going to Ghana, and our layover was in Amsterdam. Now, Amsterdam, this was in 2003, something like that. I made a lot of those trips, 2003 through 2010, something like somewhere around there. And on one of those trips, I had like I said, I had the layover in Amsterdam before we got to Africa. And on one of those trips, I sat next to a man who was in the hemp business. And that was my first introduction, not really my first introduction, but that was my first introduction to the commercial value of hemp. I was aware of the hemp plant, but hemp as a commercial business. So I was hearing about this in 2000, like I said, 2003, but it took well, this is what, 15 years from that point before CBD like exploded in the industry. So, you know, I've had this in my mind a long time, but I haven't dug into the research. So here we go. So while oils and tinctures may be packaged the same way, there's some important distinctions. Here's what's to understand about the difference between CBD oils and CBD tinctures, so you can decide what's best for your needs. CBD is one of many active compounds found in the cannabis plant, but unlike tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, that's marijuana, or that's the chemical in marijuana that gets you high, CBD has no intoxicating effects, meaning it won't get you high. Research is limited, but CBD may offer some therapeutic benefits. Now, here's the multifunctionality, right? These include relief from pain. That was the first use of CBD that I was aware of. But anxiety, depression, some types of seizures, acne, and many, many more. I like I said, as I have dug into the research, there are a lot of things about CBD that I would like to share with you. So we will do that in future calls. But the key word is multifunctionality, okay? So if you have some CBD oil or tincture on your shelf, you can use it for many, many health benefits. All right. So what is the oil? CBD oil is most often a blend of CBD extract and an inert carrier oil like MCT coconut oil, medium chain triglyceride. To make a CBD oil, CBD and sometimes other compounds like terpenes and flavonoids, oh my goodness, we've talked about some of those, are extracted from plant material. These oils are typically extracted using a method called supercritical CO2, which maintains the quality, sustainability, and bioavailability of the plant. After the desired compounds are extracted, they're mixed with the carrier oil, and sometimes essential oils are added for flavor. What is a tincture? What is a CBD tincture? CBD tincture is an alcohol-based extract. High-proof alcohol is used as a solvent to extract the natural compounds of the cannabis plant. And it's also used in the finished product. CBD and alcohol-based liquids contain 60 to 70% alcohol. Generally, alcohol-based tinctures have a longer shelf life 3 to 5 years because of the alcohol, right? But they exude a very bitter taste, again, because of the alcohol and the compounds that it's extracting. To mask the bitterness, tinctures are often mixed with additives like sweeteners, flavors, or vegetable glycerin. Some companies might also add vitamins, herbal extracts, or supplements like melatonin, depending on the goal of the product. So just in my particular company, supplement source, we do have products that are targeted towards sleep or anxiety, or there are multiple ways of getting the CBD, but those are blended with other compounds. Again, so they are multifaceted, right? They have many cofactors that help the CBD targeting the area you want to target. But just a straight CBD oil or tincture, that's multifunctional. So there's multifaceted, but there's multifunctional, and that can be used many, many different ways. You can, well, let me continue the article, because I did like the way they shared this. So is one better than the other? Both CBD oils and CBD tinctures can be effective. The biggest difference is the production process and the base ingredient. In deciding which one is best for your needs, it's important to consider your preferences and goals. While some might select CBD oil because the taste of the tincture puts them off because of the alcohol, some might select the alcohol-based tincture because the stomach can be sensitive to ingesting the oil. A CBD oil will often contain fewer ingredients than a tincture. So if you're sensitive to alcohol, an oil may be a better choice. Now here's key. How do you take them? Because there's a difference. CBD oils can be taken orally. Note, it can take 1 to 2 hours for an oil to take effect. CBD tinctures are taken sublingually or under the tongue for the fastest and most efficient absorption. You can also add CBD oils and tinctures to food and drinks for oral ingestion. I just checked the pantry this morning. I'm out of CBD coffee, but you will find CBD in many, many, many carrier media. Depending on the carrier oil, some CBD oils can even be used topically or applied directly to the skin. However, CBD products specifically designed for topical use tend to be better used for on-the-spot relief rather than full body effects. What do we mean? Okay, so applying a CBD tincture topically won't have any, oh, here we go. This is key. Applying a CBD tincture topically won't have any benefit, so don't waste your product by rubbing it on your skin. Now, I won't say won't have any benefit, but remember, your skin is made of cells that are lipid bilayers. So the oil, which is a lipid or is lipophilic, will naturally be able to absorb into the skin better than the tincture. Now, what some people do is they'll take the tincture and mix it into a lotion, and the oils in the lotion are emulsified with the tincture, and that can carry the CBD into the skin. But generally, both you can take orally, the tinctures you can take sublingually, but you can mix both into different oils, creams, lotions, in order to use for different applications. Okay. So finding a quality CBD oil or tincture. So just because, and this is important, just because you can buy CBD oils and tinctures at mall kiosks, drugstores, gas stations, and of course online, doesn't mean that every product is safe. The Food and Drug Administration doesn't regulate CBD in the same way it does drugs and supplements. And trust me, it's not because they don't want to. But that's what's fueling a lot of this research, is because the big pharma wants to find a way to get a compound that they can patent and regulate. So just, it's a mixed blessing that they aren't regulated now, but it's because, that means there's more freedom in that marketplace, but that means that there can be some bad actors too. So you have to have trust in your source of not just CBD, but all supplements. And you might have noticed just in the EFAs, the essential fatty acids, fish oils, they have found one that they could research, they could isolate and purify, quote unquote, and patent as a prescription drug. So, but of course, that eliminates all of the other cofactors that go along with it, that come along with it in nature. So we have to trust our source. So let's see. Oh, there it is. No matter what kind of CBD product you're considering, it's important to find a reputable CBD manufacturer. They talk about potency, the profile of cannabinoids, and there are three basic categories. The full spectrum products contain CBD primarily, but they also contain a small amount of THC, less than 0.3%. Broad spectrum shouldn't contain THC, which is the hypnotic portion from marijuana, but they may contain other cannabinoids. So there are a lot of different cannabinoids. It's not just CBD and THC. There's CBD1 receptor. We have CBD1. We have the receptors in our bodies for CBD, and that's amazing in itself. But there are many, many compounds that can trigger those receptors. But CBD isolates should contain 0% THC. It should be just CBD. And just like the word isolate sounds like isolation, they have taken the extra compounds out. Depending on how they're processed, there can be contaminants. Look at the shelf life, other ways to take it. So many edibles, right? Ways to get into your, the gummies, mints, truffles, etc. But that means the first pass effect in the liver. It has to get through the digestive system. And that's another topic we should revisit, is the first pass effect. So when you put something under your tongue, you're eliminating the first pass effect. When you put it under your tongue and hold it, you eliminate the first pass effect, because the blood vessels under your tongue can absorb directly whatever's right there, whatever you're holding under your tongue there. But if you just take something and swallow it, it's going to go to the liver first before it gets into the rest of the bloodstream. And that could be a significant difference. That can make a significant difference in how much actually gets to your tissues to do the job. All right. So this article, I'm going to put into the show notes on the replay, because I'm looking at the clock. I took a little too much time today. Sorry about that. I'm just so excited about CBD. And also in this I'm going to also put a direct link to this next article. Maybe not this one, but there are a couple of articles that I'm going to put in into the show articles and resources. So yeah, there was another article that I found that I really wanted to share today, but like I said, I'll put it into the resources, and you can do the research yourself. As you see, the articles are very, very easy to read and outlined, and give you the information in a very digestible way. Okay, so multifunctionality is the key. We don't know what's around the bend as far as the nation, as far as the world, as far as, like I said, these hangups at ports and supply chains and whatnot. And we don't put our trust in prepping. We put our trust, I can only speak for me. I put my trust in the Lord, but we are also to be wise. So if you have a choice in your discretionary supplement income of getting one product or another, at this time, maybe lean towards a product that has multifunctionality. It can do more than one thing. So, you have it for more than one use. Now, I am so happy that on the call, we have our own multifunctionality in our fearless leader, our host, Mr. Terrence Hope, a Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, the vigilant, consistent, and persistent health advocate and health influencer to the stars and to the globe. Mr. Hope, are you with us today, sir? Okay, if your lips are moving, that tells me I can't hear you. I see you though, you look good. And I know we talked before the call started. We tested it. We had it all tested. But okay, I see a mute sign now. Maybe if you hit that unmute again. Up, lips moving, nothing coming out. Okay, now I'm not so good at charades, but if you're trying to communicate to me, questions? Okay, comments and questions. We're going to go to some questions. So if anybody has a question, you can type it in the chat. You can raise your hand. And if you have questions about CBD or Kangen water or any of our other topics of interest. Looks like everyone's just on the edge of their seats waiting for Mr. Hope. So, dun, 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 dun. I can start the Kangen water presentation. Okay. Hold on. He says,
all right, how about now? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
loud and clear.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, we're getting our reroutes in, and we tested earlier, but things have a way of having their own mind and do what they want to do. So, we push on, we carry on, yeah? So, thank you everyone for joining our Kangen Water Health and Information Call and being with us here today on this Saturday, bright and beautiful as it is. And we're all very glad to see you all. I am so glad to hear you talking today about CBD oil, Dr. Singletary. And, most of you all might not know, I do the whole portion here about the Kangen water, but I actually don't know what Dr. Singletary is going to speak about on the day that she's going to redo our presentation. I don't know until you know. So she keeps me in the mystery column as well. But I'm always delighted and amazed. And so we are very blessed to be here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call with a board-certified physician, Dr. Lisa Singletary, who gives her time now to presenting on nutrition and how it applies to the body, the mechanisms of disease, and how nutrition works for your body's purposes of self-healing and bolstering the system. It is interesting that very recently I had a lengthy conversation with a gentleman who owns a CBD oil shop. And it happened to be in a shopping mall I was walking through. And so I said, let me go in here and see what they're doing, because I've actually never been in those things. I don't know anything about those things, and so I asked him about it and what it does. And he gave me his best explanation, but Dr. Singletary, you moved on today to talk about it having a pain relief effect, something that the articles, mentioned. And when I think about pain relief, the first thing I think of is inflammation dissipation, because you have to get rid of inflammation to remove pain. And high toxic buildups can be reactions to traumatized areas of the body for a healing effect to occur. And of course, if that is in abundance, it can build up into inflammation. Of course, the inflammation is pain. So if we can remove that high toxic load from that traumatized area, you will eliminate the inflammation, which will then eliminate the pain. And by eliminating a toxic load, you also allow for the body's self-regulating pH balancing ability to reset the pH in that traumatized area. Sometimes they say you have to be calm under pressure. And you have to be calm under pressure, of course, to think clearly, to resolve the issue. And so we see here that even the body has to stay calm under pressure. It has to stay at equilibrium levels, at the balance level of the pH, in order for the healing process to occur. Because when the pH of the body is off balance, healing cannot occur. Dysfunction of the cells and the organs occurs in pH disequilibrium. So by removing that toxicity is one thing we can help the body do. We allow the body to more easily achieve its state of equilibrium, or what we call cellular homeostasis, in putting its ability to balance the pH on its own. So if CBD oil is doing that, we can certainly see a benefit. And as we go further into looking into it more, closely, I'd be more curious about whatever else it does. So if one key is anti-inflammatory, you've got a big win there. Yeah? Now, as Dr. Singletary is talking about, you're always looking at your core, staying at your foundation of your health. Now, couple that with proper nutrition, because just like you get hungry in the morning, the cells of your body get hungry too. And if they don't have what they need, they can't perform their function. And Dr. Singletary mentioned you'd be surprised what the body can survive. It was in a cartoon, I think it was Aladdin. The little parrot was talking in the cartoon. I think that, and he was saying, well, in life, you'd be surprised what you can live through, right? Because your body is very resilient. And today, Dr. Singletary talked about borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. And what does she mean by that? What the body will do when it doesn't have all the nutrition it needs, it will take from someplace in the body to supply the need of that particular organ or function. So, you know, it's a form of atrophy to a degree. You know, it's going to pull from something else. And so whatever it's pulling from is going to be diminished. And sometimes the body will pull from sources that are not necessarily the prime life support systems to give to those other areas what they need. So if you see some sort of deficiency in the body going on, you'll know, well, something's going on where you're missing something the body is trying to compensate for. You know, so, you know, great information to know. And I'd be curious to know a lot more about CBD oil, even as we talk a little bit more in this call. You know, but we'll also go over a summary of our Kangen water machines, because, you know, people come to this call every week and the calls are on YouTube. So people are sometimes seeing one video and they're hearing about Kangen water for the first time, and they may not have ever heard about it. So we will make sure they are detailed on understanding what it is, how it works within the body, and how to use it properly. So I begin very briefly at the beginning. Of course, today's call is CBD oil versus CBD oil tincture. And I know we go with whatever that subject matter today. So we'll remind people of, all right, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, of Kangen water and what it is. The company's name is Enagic, and these are the Enagic Kangen water machines. Their motto is change your water, change your life, yeah? I think people will see my slides in a moment. Look like they gelled for a second, yeah? So what is Kangen water? Kangen water, by science definition, is electrolyzed reduced water. Electrolyzed reduced water is what Kangen water is. If you want to know what it is, you don't look up the subject matter of Kangen water, you look up electrolyzed reduced water. And this will tell you what it is. And so what is that? Electrolyzed reduced water is a water produced in a process known as electrolysis. What is electrolysis? Electrolysis is a process where electricity comes in contact with water, or where an energy source, if you want, comes in contact with water. So Kangen water, electrolyzed reduced water, a process where electrolysis occurs, where electricity comes in contact with water. And, you know, I put up this pH scale early on in my talk today because Kangen water, being an electrolyzed reduced water, has often been referred to as an alkaline water, yeah? And there are many references that talk about alkaline water being good for your body, that your body is alkaline, drink alkaline water. People even tell you that your body is alkaline. But I'm going to show you some things that are a little bit different today, so you know more thoroughly what the body really is, yeah? So Kangen water has been referred to as alkaline water, but the real true name of it is electrolyzed reduced water. And I'll go into more details in a second. Here's an example of one of our Kangen water machines. We've got the Kangen 8 machine, the Platinum SD501, which I understand actually to be much more popular when people actually get to see it. People like the metallic exterior. And we have the original SD501 Kangen water machine. Yeah? These Kangen water machines have plates of platinum wrapped titanium on the electrical circuit. Different pH levels of the Kangen water are referencing different functions. So the drinking water is actually known as Kangen water, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5 alkaline pHs, but alkaline only for one particular reason. Neutral pH water, highlighted in green here, is what the company calls clean water, although it's really just a neutral pH water. Beauty water, also known as a mild acid water, very good for your skin and hair. Strong Kangen water and strong acid water are the waters used for sterilizing fruits and vegetables and physical surfaces to remove bacteria, pesticides, and mold and the like. So the machine has multi-functions, and it's multifaceted, very fascinating. So this is the SD501. This is the Platinum SD501. And that other one was the was the Kangen 8 unit. The only difference between these machines is their exterior color and the fact that the Platinum speaks 5 languages. The machines have 7 plates on the electrolysis circuit. And the more plates you have, the more surface area for antioxidant ions to build upon when electricity hits water. We progress, yeah? So what's happening inside the machines? Water is being hit by lightning. No, it's not. Water is being hit by electricity, and we like to call it a mini lightning strike, yeah? So water will hit electricity, or rather electricity will hit water. Here's your example of a water molecule, hydrogen in 2 parts and 1 part oxygen, H2O. So we're going to hit water with electricity. It's going to cause a division of the water molecule into 2 parts. The H2O will divide into the OH negative and the H plus derived from the molecule itself. So the flow chart, water, H2O, hit by electricity, divides into 2 segments, yielding this OH molecule, also known as hydroxide ion. This hydroxide ion is an alkaline molecule, and we use it as a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant particles and materials and ions and molecular structures within the water. So you can imagine this water here having H2O molecules and hydroxide ions and other antioxidant ions as well. So Kangen water is referred to as alkaline water because we use the alkaline molecule as a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant molecules within the water at a time. That's why it's called alkaline water. However, there's more than one way to make an alkaline water or make a water alkaline. We use electricity, but if you use a different form, it will not have an antioxidant effect. You will not have this structure here. You will not have a buildup of antioxidant ions. Only when an energy source hits the water, like electricity, do you have that sort of reaction and production of antioxidant ions. So I want to make a very clear distinction of what we actually are. Electrolyzed, kapow, reduced water, producing using electricity to create antioxidant ions within the water. Very, very important to know. So inside the machine, electrolysis is going on. Electricity is hitting water. You get the formation of different molecular structures that are antioxidant, yeah? Look up many science reviews on it under the heading of electrolyzed reduced water, and you'll come to the knowledge and information on those things that remove toxicity from the body. Now, when you can remove toxicity from the body, you allow the body to restore or more easily maintain its pH equilibrium levels, yeah? Our machines can be monitored in their antioxidant effect with a meter we called an ORP meter, or also known as an oxidative reduction potential meter. There's a negative charge to antioxidant substances. There's a positive charge to oxidizing, toxic forming, or retention substances. Kangen water is an antioxidant substance. It'll have a negative number when it's read on our ORP meters. Things like carbonated beverages and sodas have a positive number on the ORP meter, and they will be oxidizing, causing your body to retain toxicity. So many substances will do that. Tap water will do that. Some of the bottled waters will do that. And of course, carbonated beverages like whatever, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, 7-Up, all those sodas are very bad for your body. You don't want to retain toxicity. Your body can't maintain pH equilibrium that way. It can go into pH disequilibrium and cause a lot of dysfunctions as the body's cells cannot function properly, nor have their self-healing ability maintained when the pH of the organ is off balance. On the other hand, Kangen water has an antioxidant effect, and that's why we drink it, to get the benefit from it, yeah? The body is mostly water. The kind of water you have in the body will dictate its health. Kangen water, being an antioxidant water, will be able to detox you at the cellular level all throughout the body, and in that way the body will better be able to maintain its pH equilibrium with a toxic-free environment. And that's the key of what our water does for the body. You know, I often mention this little fish tank here. For those who keep aquariums or are pet owners of fish, they understand that this waterway must be kept filtered and clean. You know, it's a closed environment you've got fish in. Toxins are being produced all the time. You've got to get that out to keep them breathing properly or respirating properly underwater. And the toxins can get in the way of that. Toxicity can get in the way of the body as well. And we want to filter that. Kangen water removes toxicity. And that's why we drink it once again. Watch out for junk foods. They cause high toxicity. Many of these things are not even food. They're what I like to call edible matter. You can eat it, but it's not beneficial for your body and will cause health problems as the toxins build up from the different substances that are not organic, that the body is not designed to break down, that the body is not designed to digest, that the body is not designed to take anything from. And so instead, they'll lodge in the system and cause toxemia, and that will cause health problems long term. So we watch out for taking things in that create toxicity. Make sure you're drinking Kangen water to remove toxicity, and eat healthier foods that will give your body the nutrition that it needs. Your body can do what it's designed to do and be self-healing and properly self-regulating. Yeah. So this is a pH scale I always like to go to remind people of what Kangen water is doing in the body, and reminding the people of what the body actually is. You can see here that the body has different pH values in different organs of the body. You have been told many times that the body is alkaline. Drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, and you'll be healthy. It's far from being correct. The body is not entirely alkaline. It is a constant flowing of different pH levels that it maintains on its own. Some organs may maintain a certain pH level in the acidic range. Some organs maintain a pH level in the alkaline range. Some organs may be in constant flux, right? So the body does not maintain pH balance by the pH of what you eat. It is not blown by every wind of doctrine, as the Bible says, yeah? It is not changed by every substance you come across that way. It is affected by high toxicity, and it's hampered in its ability to maintain pH balance. But it takes the energy from foods, whether alkaline foods or acidic foods that are organic, and converts that to energy and uses that energy to fulfill all its functions, including its ability to maintain pH equilibrium in all the organs. So as you look here, you see that the heart is in the alkaline range. And let me step back one. Here is your power of hydrogen, or your pH scale. And this is so you understand what the pH is specifically. So we have a pH scale, also known as the power of hydrogen, the volume of hydrogen atoms in your water, or lack thereof. So the greater the hydrogen level, the lower the pH. The less of the hydrogen level, the higher the pH, right? So, and where that hydrogen level is balanced, it's at equilibrium. So the pH scale goes from 0 to 14. Anything above a 7 on that scale is an alkaline level. Anything below a 7 on that scale is an acidic level. Neutral is in the middle at 7, yeah? So we look at the pH scale of the body. We look at the different various pH levels of the body. We look at the heart. It's sitting at 7.0 to 7.4. The bloodstream, 7.45 to 7.4, 7.4 to 7.45. The brain at a 7.1. These are the levels above a 7, yeah? That means they're in the alkaline range. We look at the gastric secretion, saliva. We see that they are 1.0 to 3.5 for gastric secretions. You see that it is 6.0 to 7.4 for saliva. Let me stick with the stomach for a second. The stomach is going to be an acidic, so is the small and large intestines. This is below 7. The gastric or hydrochloric acid is going to be in the acid range, 1.0 to 3.5. So you see it that even saliva can range from the acidic range to the alkaline range. It can vary, right? So there are different pH ranges. The body is self-regulating in those. You just have to have the proper nutrition and detox properly so your body can maintain that. So always remember that. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about pH. Yeah. Be careful of little scales like this. This one talks about acidity. It talks about alkalinity, and it likens acidity and alkalinity to poor health versus good health. It's not accurate. You've already seen that some of the organs in the body are acidic and have to be acidic in order to be healthy. You've seen that some organs in the body are alkaline, have to be alkaline to be healthy. This would be saying that you'll be in poor health in an acidic environment. You've got organs that are acidic, like the stomach, small and large intestines. So well-meaning but inaccurate documentation came across about pH. We're here to correct that. So the body is self-regulating. And, good health is not determined by acid or alkalinity of an organ. Good health is determined by the pH equilibrium of that organ and it being in the range it's supposed to be in. All right? So I know I make that abundantly clear and I go into that. Alkalinity, high pH, and of course I do a little skim with this, reminding everyone to watch out for alkaline water in the store. Those alkaline waters in the stores are simply mineralized waters that came into being because of the popularity of Kangen water and Kangen water being referred to as alkaline water. So the trend of alkaline water came from Kangen water. The water bottling manufacturers picked up on the trend of information that people were talking about and decided in the 2000s that they would make alkaline mineral water because it was being referred to as a healthy water and would be a health trend. They never actually told you that it wasn't beneficial if they know themselves. They figure, well, there's money to be made, they'll make it. If the information is false and inaccurate, they won't bother to correct you while you're paying them money for this information. So they produce things like Essentia and Aqua Hydrate and all these other bottled waters that are here that are alkaline in pH. The only reason why they're alkaline in pH is because they added minerals to them. The only reason why they added minerals to them is because you thought it was going to be healthy for you. And they figured they can make money by doing that. So these waters cannot detox your body. They cannot remove toxicity. You cannot restore a level of cellular equilibrium, but you cannot help the body to become toxic free through them. And some of them are actually not bioavailable. They're not really made for the body to absorb. You can end up with substances in your body that can cause a pH imbalance by making the body too alkaline with heavy minerals that cannot be absorbed for nutrition. And that can cause a pH imbalance and cause chronic illnesses long term. I'm not saying that it will, but it has the potential once you get into a level of pH disequilibrium, which these kind of waters will cause. So I'd be careful of that. Your body is self-healing, like the animals in the wild, to eat what they're supposed to eat, and their body stays healthy. You don't hear the same kind of chronic illness stories that humans go through among the animal population. The body is very much healing from the surface of the skin right down to the depths of the bones, as long as you give it proper nutrition, hydration, and detoxification. So that's just a quick overview of Kangen water, what it really is, and how to work within your body. KangenWaterNation.com is our main website throughout the U.S. You can reach that website for information and questions. You can call me through my phone lines in the United States, 866-526-4368. That's 866-526-4368. If you're in the United Kingdom and England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, or throughout Greater Europe, we prefer to use our UK phone line. At the country code is +44-800-086-9793. That's 0800-086-9793. If you're in the UAE or the city of Dubai, you can reach us in our Dubai number, 0800-018-589. And of course, click into any one of our websites, KangenWaterNation.com, KangenWaterLondon.co.uk, or Kangen Dubai, based on the country or region you're in around the world. We have to take your questions, give you more information, and help you with your Kangen water information. So we thank you today for coming to our conference call, and look forward to answering queries you may have about Kangen water. Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hope. That was awesome. I have five points that really hit me today. And, like you said, we have to repeat these things because new people come onto the call and see the replays. But I hear every call and I still hear, new things or things that stand out, things that you highlight that I really appreciate. So, three of them are related to three of the five things that I want to say before the call ends are based on my notes from your talk. First of all, they did not consult me when they named the neutral pH water clean water. Okay, I just want that to be clear.
I know what
They
you
did
mean.
not enter into consultation with Kangen Water Nation, with Terrence Hope, an Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, or with moi in naming that
Sure.
water. We have many other alternatives that are more accurate, less connotations, but I just want to clear.
Yes, truly.
They did that without consulting me. Okay.
Understood. Because when you look at the term clean water, it says, okay, if that's clean water, what's the other water then?
Exactly.
Right? So
Exactly.
it's like, so they needed to just made that neutral water. We would get it.
Yeah.
Trust we get it.
So I
Right?
understand the Oriental brain might work a little different, or their consultant might
In
not have had
translation,
my
yeah.
English teacher, you know, whatever. But okay, number 2, pH versus ORP. Actually, I always think of the possibility of, actually, I think we've had calls on ORP versus, actually, I know we've had calls on ORP versus ORAP, right? One being for solids and one being for liquids. What is the oxidation reduction potential? But I love the fact that you clearly distinguish between pH and ORP, and that has such a it makes such a difference when you're choosing how you're going to spend your water dollars, right? Do you want to spend it on waters that are oxidizing, that are aging, that are inflammation generating, that cannot reduce oxidation in the body, but have really good marketing, or do you want to spend your water dollars on something that is actually going to decrease oxidative stress
Sure.
in the body? That was point number 2. Point number 3 actually was an article that I pulled up for today. And, sometimes news isn't really news, but this article was just published October 29th of 2021. More fast food outlets, more diabetes in your neighborhood. Not really
Wow.
news,
Wow.
but in science, science, when they talk about let's follow the science, science does not always mean your hypothesis, proving your hypothesis is wrong. Sometimes science proves that what you've thought all along is actually true, but now we can prove it. So the news there, I don't think, is the fact that fast food joints in your neighborhood affect the health of the community. I think the news is the fact that they've got some numbers now that can prove or at least support that hypothesis. But
Yeah. How
when
long
you
did it
talk
take
about
them?
the standard American diet, right? We've got the good food, bad food list for you. Please ask us for the list. Ask us for actually, it's in the list in the video explaining why the bad foods are bad, are also in our call resources. So please take advantage of that. Okay, 4 and 5 are upcoming events. 4, tonight, there's, headed this way towards Earth right now is this major solar flare. And so it's possible tonight that we, even as far as south as Northern Virginia, could see the aurora from the solar flare. And where's the article? Here's the article I got it from. So this is in livescience.com. Massive solar flare barreling towards Earth this Halloween. And the auroras could, because normally auroras are attracted to the magnetic pole, which is why in Alaska the Arctic Circle, they can see the aurora borealis. But there's a possibility, I don't know, but there's a possibility that we mere mortals here in the continental US, I talk to someone in Alaska a lot, so in the continental US, some of us could see an aurora in the sky, which is from electrons being stimulated. So that's an event coming up possibly tonight. Supposedly it's not strong enough. It's a G3 category solar flare out of 5. And supposedly it's not going to affect our electronics. But maybe that's what's been causing some of the technical difficulties on the call, is these solar flares coming.
I say you got that much energy coming to the planet, it's going to affect something.
It's going to affect something, yeah, because we've talked about piezoelectrics. When you compress these energized, when you touch, that causes energy. Just the pressure of the touch causes energy to be released. And they actually said that the solar flare causes a compression in the atmosphere around the Earth. So we'll see, but
it will affect us in one way or another. There's so much we know. I know we're at the top of the hour now, and actually today I don't really have as much time to go over our 2 o'clock hour as I normally do. But that was those are some good highlights you mentioned in that, Singletary.
Okay, so the 5th is, I just want to thank everyone for getting on the call today. We have a special friend of mine. My second mother is on the call, Alice Evans, and her birthday's coming up November 13th. So I'm starting wishing her happy birthday already. Next week, October 6th, will be the last call within Eastern Daylight Time. So Mr. Hope, get ready for all of your round the world
get my calculator out
time zone shifts. And I just love everyone that's on the call today. You have been such a benefit to my life. So I will not prolong. You've already given the contact information. So for the replay, those of you that I have your email address or your text address, please check a little bit later today and you will see the replay link for the call. For those of you that if you're not getting the replays, you got 2 alternatives. You can give me your email address so we can put you on the show email list. And also, you can go to Kangen Water Radio on YouTube, and we have a whole channel with all of our, the last 60 or almost 60, we're getting there, last 60 calls that are on video on Kangen Water Radio, but also you have access to our entire call topics log, which is 438 calls. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Hi, Janet, I see you. We look forward to you next week, and I give you the big mwah.
All right now. Take care, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Kangen Water Health Information Call.
Love you all.
Sure.